Hello everyone, welcome back to another TheCobraX video. It's me as always, your favourite man who's never in the Christmas spirit. But today we're not talking about Christmas. I mean, technically, there's one scene in the movie, it doesn't count. But we are here to talk about Sonic 3. I saw it the other day, and I've got quite a lot to talk about it. I think first of all, is it any good? Yes. Yes it is. In fact, if you look at it from Sonic 1, 2, and 3, it's probably the best one in there. It does what 1 and 2 tried to do, but so much better. In fact, the last 30 minutes of this film, I would argue, is probably the best part of the entire 3 movies.
What?
And I don't say that lightly. But with all good things, there comes the bad, and Sonic 3 is no exception. There are a couple of things that I think... I'm not going to say they're bad, I'm just saying it's different, which doesn't always mean good. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But we'll start off with the good. We'll start off with the positive. This is going to contain spoilers, so sorry, not sorry. You can put all your complaints in at the number in the description. Spoiler alert, there's no number there. I think the opening to the movie, it's strong. I think it's good. We start off with Shadow, who's been in stasis for 50 years on an unknown island. He breaks out, then he travels all the way to Tokyo. But then we're introduced to Team Sonic, and they have a race, the most basic of terms. But it's not actually a race because, haha, got you, it's Sonic's surprise birthday. You know, birthday, but Earth. Yeah, I don't know what they were going for there. It was Sonic's birthday, first day on Earth, anniversary thing. But then they get interrupted by the FBI. Oh, I'm sorry, not FBI. GUN, the gun. And no, it's not the gun that Shadow was holding in the trailer. They get interrupted by Gun because Shadow had escaped. So naturally, what's the best thing to do to an overpowered alien that was trapped 50 years in an island? You just run right after it to the fireball, of course not. What? So then they eventually meet Shadow, and then we have that famous sequence from one of the clips that they showed. Also, I'm just going to take the time to say Keanu absolutely nailed it. That Shadow, one of the best we've had since Generations. Since Sonic X Shadow Generations. Although I'd argue I don't think Keanu really fit in the movie DLC, but that's a conversation for another time. So Keanu Reeves absolutely nails it as Shadow. We see him properly for the first time. I mean, then again, there is a clip where he says, "Oh, is it 2024? I've been in stasis for 50 years." That was a heavy line, I enjoyed that, but... Anyway, moving on. We see the Sonic team absolutely get mollywopped by Shadow. After that, Shadow goes on his motorcycle, and then we get that scene from the trailers where it's him and Sonic running through the streets, then that famous scene where they throw punches at each other. Honestly, if there's one thing that this movie has done well, it's taken me by surprise. It's taken me by complete surprise. I did not expect that would be towards the beginning. But I'm kind of glad it was towards the beginning, because the things at the end were so much stronger. Robotnik joins Team Sonic. Him and Sonic go to the old abandoned facility. And what they find there is that they find Shadow, but they also find Gerald. And that's kind of where the betrayal scene goes on. And then it's another clip from the trailer, basically. I don't have to explain that one. They infiltrate a massive tower just to find a key to... I'm not gonna say what it is. I've already given too many spoilers, but basically the whole situation is that it ends up between Super Shadow and Super Sonic. Yeah, we do get to see them, although that's not really a spoiler because they already announced toys for it, so it was kind of guaranteed to be in there. Say what you want, I'm right, you're wrong, Cope and Seath. But after that scene, this kind of marks the 30-minute period I was talking about, where it's pure action and nothing else. And then we have the end credit scenes, which are... I didn't get to see the second one, but I saw the first one. That one was really good. Really enjoyed that one. I am a bit concerned about Metal Sonic, though, because Metal Sonic is supposed to be, on his own, a clone of Sonic. And he's supposed to be really powerful, and in some cases, he's even faster than normal Sonic. But here, instead of having just one of them, there's a whole army of them. And while I get the reference to Sonic CD, I don't know if that's exactly the route they should have gone down, but Amy was introduced, so, you know, every cloud. But the other post-credit scene was where Shadow was brought back, which I was expecting, to be honest. They weren't going to kill him off that early. If they did, that would be a bit counterintuitive, but not really the worst thing in the world. The main selling point of this movie is obviously Shadow, but I just have to say, the highlight for me was Jim Carrey. He did both Ivo and Gerald Robotnik. I got a lot of laughs out of this film. It was really funny. I think there was this one scene that I outwardly laughed at. It was where they were dancing in the scene with the lasers, which I thought was pretty funny. The thing was, I had already seen that scene because basically there was this one music video that had some of the scenes that we would see in Sonic 3 in it. Huh, you don't want to know how many times I had to try and say that. But I had already seen that scene, yet it was still funnier just watching it. Honestly, I don't remember the last time that Jim Carrey acted more passionately. In Act 1, in the first and second movie, I thought he was still amazing, but this one, he had fun with this one. I think probably my favorite line from Ivo Robotnik was, "The Robotniks have entered the chat."
What?
I don't know, it's so old school, yet so funny at the same time. I think that was the highlight for me. Here comes some of the things that aren't so good about the movie, because you can't always talk about the positives. I think one of the main things was some of the plot changes from the games. Like, for example, this time, instead of Shadow is not genetically engineered by Gerald Robotnik, and there is no space colony arc, and Maria isn't ill. I'm not going to get into too many spoilers, but Shadow is not genetically created like he was supposed to be in the original canon, or the game canon. And there's a lot of things that they changed with him that, I don't know, some of them seem okay, but then some of them don't sit right with me. Especially the way that Maria dies, I think, first of all, it doesn't really make sense. Hard to explain without spoilers. I'll spoil this one bit. Basically, Gerald Robotnik comes running in, and then he says to the both of them in a flashback that they have to get out because they're trying to take away Shadow. But then the commander himself says, "Don't shoot," and "Don't attack Shadow," yet the soldiers did it anyway. That bit kind of confused me, and then there was conveniently some random chaos energy placed there. I don't know, that smelled a bit fishy to me. But at the end of the day, I think they did Shadow's character arc really well. I'd argue that the last bit is a little bit rushed, but he is coming back in Sonic 4, so I'm not too disappointed with that, I'll say. And yeah, that's Sonic 3. What would I give it on the TheCobraX rating? I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. I think it's generally a really good watch. It's worth your money. But yeah, that's about it. This is my late Christmas present to you guys, and I'll probably be doing Mufasa across the next couple of days because I have watched that one as well. And we've got some ranting to do. Anyway, that's about it. Have a good one, guys.